Hi everyone, here's the Book Chemist once again. Today I'm reviewing Metallic Realms by Michel, an amazing novel about fandom. If you've ever been a dedicated fan of anything, of a band, a TV series, a novel series, you'll know the deep injustice of feeling like an unappreciated and unpaid scholar. The world values so much drab that is pointless and sad, but your minute knowledge of 1980s thrash metal or Goosebumps books is not going to be of any interest to anybody except for a couple of weirdos just like you. I've actually written a review of Metallic Realms for Mythaxis, an amazing magazine that publishes science fiction and fantasy stories, book reviews and more, and there's a link to the description box to my review. Check it out, read it if you feel like it, but definitely check out Mythaxis because it's a great magazine. I'll say a few more words about the book here because I think it's really awesome. The narrator of Metallic Realms is very aware of that injustice that I mentioned before, but in the fashion of the true fanatic and the true zealot, he doesn't let it faze him. He is happy enough just being the scholar of his chosen obsession. His name is Michael Lincoln, and already you might have noticed the first of the many literary metafictional games that the novel plays, and his chosen obsession is the Star-Rot Chronicles, of which he is the official lore keeper. This is a series of science fiction stories written by a writing collective called Orb 4, a collective of 4 young writers. The book in your hands, in fact, Metallic Realms, presents all 9 of the canon stories written by Orb 4, and it presents them alongside Michael's own commentary, alongside his introduction, his afterword, and his afterword. Michael is putting this collection together from some kind of dingy basement. He's high on Adderall and is in quite a hurry to finish his job because of some unspecified tragedy in his recent past that compelled him to run away from his life and pushed him into this strange situation. If you're anything like me, you'll find this recipe irresistible already. Ever since reading Dagon at age 15, any book that starts with the narrator going, you know, by the time I'll finish writing this text, something horrible will happen to me, I'm already a sucker for it. And the structure of the book probably already calls to mind what is probably the clearest inspiration for the novel, the one that this book engages with most closely, which is Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov, another novel that is written mostly in the format of commentary on another fictive writer's works. In Nabokov's case, in Pale Fire, the novel is almost entirely written in the form of notes to another writer's long poem. In fact, the book opens with a statement by Nabokov in which, in typical Nabokovian terms, he dismisses science fiction, but the quote is distorted here in Metallic Realms and turned into a declaration of love for science fiction. Michael corrects him by saying that Nabokov's quote, the one you find across the internet, was probably just an autocorrect error. And that already, the liberty that he takes with his source material already tells you a lot about Michael and about the type of narrator that is going to be in the course of the novel. He's one of the most exciting literary puzzles that I've encountered in quite a while. He's a beautiful mixture of coy and clueless. A crucial fact that I haven't mentioned yet is that Michael has a direct connection to the Orb 4 writers. One of them, Taras, is a childhood friend of his, another one, Merlin, is a flatmate of Michael, and the other 2 are also common friends. And Michael is peculiarly oblivious, or at least selectively blind, about the ways in which these people are treating him, their real opinions of him. It's unclear for much of the book quite how aware he is of the true nature of his relationship with these 4 people. Really, for most of the book, Michael walks perfectly. He walks the line between the obsessiveness of a fan and flat-out criminal madness. As I mentioned, Metallic Realms also provides the 9 canonical stories in the Starrot Chronicles, and these are 9 beautiful, fun, exciting science fiction stories written in a variety of styles, from the adventurous style of Golden Age science fiction to the brooding, introspective, new wave sci-fi and beyond. And more than being exciting stories, these are 9 love letters to the genre and to the power of imaginative stories to offer solace and offer meaning, especially in the face of difficult personal and political situations. Metallic Realms is very much a book about escapism, a topic that is very close to my heart. For what it's worth, it was the subject of my PhD thesis. It's a book about the healing powers of stories, how they can provide great nourishment in our lives, but how they can become traps too. Is it right to escape into the imagination in the face of personal commitments, of the challenging political, ecological climate of our times? Is it allowed? Should we fight it? Is there a balance that can be struck? These are difficult questions, and the book raises them at various times throughout its various characters. It's also a book about 5 people acting fairly horribly toward one another, even while they love each other very much most of the time. It's really not that easy to paint 5 flawed individuals so well as Michel does in this novel, without just making them come across as villains. To me, this is a book about that specific hubris, despair, pettiness, greed that you can experience. I think I experienced it maybe in my 20s. The characters here are a little older. I think they're either in their early 30s or just about to turn 30. When you're young, you're surrounded by friends, you live in one of the world's greatest cities, you have a world of entertainment at your fingertips, you feel like an artist, and yet you feel as if the world owes you something more that is just outside your grasp. It talks very well about this peculiar situation. I think especially if you've ever had dreams of becoming a writer, you'll find lots that is relatable in the story of the Orb Force struggles. Metallic Realms is such a quirky, complex literary puzzle that at times, especially at the beginning, I thought it was going to be a hilarious gimmick, but just a gimmick nonetheless. Nabokov with a sci-fi spin. Far from it. It's a beautifully complex novel. Its enigmas and its games are really compelling, but it's also an insightful psychological treatment of some flawed but really relatable characters, and it opens a few windows into some dark areas of the human condition. It took its characters and its plot further than I thought it would, considering its opening couple of chapters. I think it's amazing. It was so up my alley that it's as if an AI program wrote it for me, which these days, you can never be sure. But I can only encourage you to go out and read it because it's great. It's amazing. Check out Mythaxis because it's a great magazine. Let me know what you think of Metallic Realms after you've read it, and bye everybody.